Hi everybody, this is Anthony Fritchley, known as Anthony Fritchley 2003 on my YouTube channel here. And today, I want to show you something that is homemade that I made. It's not a homemade, I know I did make my homemade DVDs and VHS tapes I usually do. It's kind of like a homemade item update. If I did make my drawings, I remember when I usually drew like my made up character Silly Girl, for example. But I'm going to show you something that is homemade and something very cool. And this video is for everyone who are neutral to Blue's Clues. For everyone who likes Blue's Clues. Are you ready? I just made something that is homemade. I wanted to see it. It's just kind of like a homemade item update. Do you want to see it? Here it is. This is what is very cool. I want to show you this, guys. See? I just made my homemade handy dandy notebook, you guys. So yeah, I just want to show you my homemade handy dandy notebook. I know there were real handy dandy notebook, but I just made my own Blue's Clues handy dandy notebook. My homemade handy dandy notebook, that is. I used to have my old handy dandy notebook back in 2021, but I don't really have it anymore. But right now I just made a new one. But this time it looks similar like the actual Blue's Clues handy dandy notebook. And not only that, I even made this kind of crayon that looks like Steve's crayon from Blue's Clues. And yes, this crayon is black. See, I'll show you for proof. See, it's a black crayon, not a purple crayon or a green crayon. This is the black crayon. I did make my own, which I know Steve the YouTuber made a letter for me of his handy dandy notebook. So that means, you guys, since I made my homemade handy dandy notebook, I'm gonna make letter segments to who have any of these Blue's Clues letter segments, who has the letter segment. I think most of them just start with Jordan, but I don't know if I'll make a letter for Dan Sobel. But I'm just gonna say yeah. But if he likes me again, I might make a letter for him. Because nowadays I am neutral to Dan Sobel. But if you guys hate Dan Sobel, if you guys hate Dan Sobel, if you're watching this, I still like you guys, but I can handle your opinion on Dan Sobel. But because I only like him just because of his letter segments. I remember when I made letters like Steve the YouTuber or Nate or Dan Sobel, I did not this kind of handy dandy notebook. This is what I made is brand new. And by the way, this handy dandy notebook was recycled from a Memo Need, whatever that brand is, a Memo notebook. This is not really like a. It was made actually the actual notebook. And this crayon was actually taken from the Crayola crayons. Well, that crayon was really good condition. I did have to peel the Crayola label, and I just made this one. I just used the green paper, the light green paper that is, and I used the green crayon and color it, and I cut it, and I designed this crayon as well, which that's pretty cool. This is a very cool one. This is a very special video I want to show you. I want to show you that my homemade handy dandy notebook, which that's pretty awesome. So yeah, this is for everyone who are this is for all the Blue's Clues fans, or everyone who remembered Jordan Media Corps 2000, Dan Sobel. I like Dan Sobel, I only like the letter segments. Or for doing his Blue's Clues stuff, and all kinds of good stuff besides his wrongdoings. But yeah, I do like my new. Well, I am very good. It is kind of perfect a handy dandy notebook. This looks like Steve's notebook. Steve Burns' notebook and Steve the YouTuber. Speaking of Steve the YouTuber made a letter for me back in 2022, I just made this green. I just made it that looks like this. I know Steve the YouTuber made this by its own, so yeah. So I made it looks like Steve Burns' crayon, except this, I know usually it would have been a big crayon, but I do have a big crayon, but it's not, I don't think I have a black crayon, but if there's a big crayon, it won't fit in that. It does kind of fit on this kind of notebook, see? but not like a big, not like the actual crayon, like the actual handy-dandy notebook, except my homemade handy-dandy notebook. My own homemade handy-dandy notebook comes with a black crayon that was made by Crayola, and this one notebook was recycled. This was probably would have been made in 1992 before Blue's Clues came out. So yeah, I just made my own handy-dandy notebook. I did add the drawing glued on in this and the front and the back. At the bottom I wrote. I just wrote my homemade version of my drawing of Blue's Clues. I didn't do it perfectly. I did draw Nick Jr. And by the way, orange and blue are both my favorite colors. Because of the Nick Jr. one, and blue is also my favorite color. But if I were a girl, my favorite color would be pink. I should choose. So yeah, I think I think my favorite character of Blue's Clues, my favorite host. I like any Blue's Clues, including the Blue's Clues and I don't mind. I don't do a lot of Blue's Clues stuff. I know that Steve the YouTuber does like Blue's Clues, or Adam Carter. And I will make a letter for Adam Carter, Jordan's Media Corps 2000, and Nate the Game Media 2006, and what else? I don't know about Super Mitomo. I did that. I know I made a letter to Super Mitomo, or Ben. I don't think Glenn Blackshaw was around anymore. So yeah, I don't know about Ben LaMancha, but I don't think I can't make a letter for Logan Carroll because he came back to YouTube because his account got terminated. I might make a letter for Steve the YouTuber because I think he still likes me. I'm not sure, but I might make a letter for Steve the YouTube. But I don't know if I'll make a letter to Dan Sobel. Nowadays I used to hate Dan Sobel, but not anymore. But if I just like Dan Sobel just because of the letter segments. So yeah, I know Steve the YouTuber has his handy-dandy notebook, not like my homemade handy-dandy notebook. My old handy-dandy notebook opens like that, not like this one. This one opens like that, now just like the actual Steve's notebook. I know on Steve's notebook, it looks similar like mine I made recently, and on Joe's notebook, it just had the thinking chair only, looked like a shape of it, and in Josh's notebook, it looks similar like Steve's notebook, but it looks kind of blue, which kind of like a phone music. He just got an email. So yeah. And maybe I might continue my letter segments. I don't know, but So yeah. So what do you think of my homemade handy-dandy notebook, you guys? And it's not a letter for. It's not like a Blue's Clues letter segment thing. I'm just doing that right before I make a letter. So when I'm making a letter segment, first is Jordan's Media Corps 2000. Next is Nate the Game Media 2006, and whatever. I might do the rest of more of these. I don't know about Dan Soul, but I might see what happens. But I'm not sure if Dan Soul likes me, because I know he hates me because I hate him. But yeah, because I guess the reason why I hate Dan Soul is because a lot of people lost my respect on Dan Sobel. So yeah, I don't know if I'll make a letter to Chase Ballard. I remember I did make letters for Chase Ballard, but I don't think he makes these letter segments anymore. So yeah, what do you think of my homemade handy-dandy notebook, guys? That'd be very cool. I guess you'd probably be proud of me if I made my homemade handy-dandy notebook. If I were you, for everyone who remembered Blue's Clues, Blue's Room, and Blue's Clues, I don't know about Blue's. I don't have to worry about the Blue's Room. Is that only if everyone who remembered any Blue's Clues, that is. Any Blue's Clues and Blue's Clues in you. I'm not sure about Blue's Room. So yeah, so what do you think of my homemade handy-dandy notebook, you guys? I think you probably I guess you'd probably be proud of me if I made my handy-dandy notebook. But please do not hate me if I did make my homemade handy-dandy notebook. If I were a Blue's Clues haters, similar. Please do not hate me. If everyone who doesn't care about everyone who hates Blue's Clues, but if you're watching this for everyone who hates Blue's Clues, I respect your opinion. So So what do you think of my handy dandy notebook? I'm not always a huge fan of Blue's Clues for now on, but I always like Blue's Clues for now on. I do like Blue's Clues. I do have some by Blue's Clues VHS tapes and one DVD of Blue's Big Musical Movie, which is a childhood copy. So yeah, I think that's all I gotta say for showing this on my handy dandy notebook. And I will make a letter for Nate, the Game Media Dude 2006, and mostly I'll start with Jordan, because Jordan's Media Core 2000 was probably a huge fan of Blue's Clues, Little Bear, Go-Go, and other, and he included Nick Jr. face promos. So yeah, I think that's all I gotta say for showing my new handy dandy notebook. So what do you think of my handy dandy notebook, guys? I think you love it. I think you might like this. So yeah, I think that's all I gotta say for showing my new homemade handy dandy notebook I made. So subscribe to my channel, everybody. Triple like on this video, and I'll see you guys next time on the next video. Peace.